aje takulandilani ku kanema wanga wa YouTube. This vlog is a story of two girls who during early December, we had sort of like a cell group where we were with other girls and we were talking about so many things. And I had my friend Joy talk about how she wanted to go to Malawi. And actually it's like she had started planning about it, and I got so curious because I love traveling. I wanted to know when she wanted to do it, how she wanted to do it. So later I got in touch with her and had a meeting and we talked about it, and she told me that she just had this deep desire to go to Malawi. And at that point I told her that I also desired to go to South Africa, and I had thought about it, but not so much about it, but I wanted to do it, during that last week of December. So I asked her if she minded like us traveling together, and she didn't mind. And we started talking about the possibilities of traveling to Malawi and South Africa, and we were like, you know what, let's just pray about it and let the Lord lead us whether we would go to Malawi or to South Africa. However, none of us had an issue either going to Malawi or South Africa, just that deep inside our hearts everybody had where they wanted to go. So later, almost close to around the last weeks to Christmas, because we were so busy, we never even had time to talk more about it. We just did a group call. Initially we were 3 girls, but one of us was not able to make, and she blessed us to just go ahead with the arrangements. So we did a group call and we started talking about the possibilities of going to whether Malawi or South Africa. And I asked Joy, how do you feel? Is it Malawi? Is it South Africa? And she told me Malawi, and then for me I still felt South Africa. And then at this point is when she told me, you know what, there is a way we can go to South Africa from Malawi. She told me there's some buses that ply that route, Malawi to South Africa. So I was like, you know what, let's go to both countries, Malawi and South Africa. So that is how we decided to do both Malawi and South Africa. And actually we didn't plan much. We just drafted just came up with a draft budget of how much it would cost here and there, but we knew we wanted to do a road trip because we were so busy in our workplace. We need time to rest, we need time to just unwind, and this was the perfect opportunity to do that. And one of the things I love about Joy is that she's the kind of a person who she's reliable. If she tells you she will do something, she will do it. And I remember there's a time we had a conversation some time back, and she told me how she loves traveling and everything. And I told her, you know what, if you're that kind of a person, I'd love to travel with you. And I'm so glad that we got to travel together because she's a woman of her words. And yeah, and one of the interesting things she mentioned when we were traveling is that most of the desires to do something or dreams are always killed at the planning stage. It's one thing to desire and want something, but to proceed with something, it takes a lot of intentionality. And that is one thing I like about her intentionality and her readiness to just do what she says she will do. So we did a road trip where we started from Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, and then to Mozambique, to Zimbabwe, and then to South Africa. So watch the rest of the story, and I hope you enjoy. And thank you for tuning in.
Hi, this is JK, and this is Joy. Yeah, Joy is a friend of mine, and we are going on a safari to Malawi, South Africa, and the in-between. Yes, we're going to have fun, we're going on an adventure, we're very busy, and it's time for us just to go and rest and relax and just go and enjoy God's creation. So come with us, explore with us, Malawi, South Africa, and in-between, and things to do in both countries. Yay!
We boarded Kidia Express, which normally ferries people from Kenya to Dar es Salaam every day at 8 p.m. It's a bus that is usually very punctual, and at that day it left at 8 p.m. This was not the first time I was using it. The first time I used it, I really liked it. That's why we decided to use Kidia Express again. Currently, we are at Namanga border, headed to Dar es Salaam, all the way from Kenya, headed to Dar es Salaam. Yay! We came with Kidia Weh! Last time it was good, but today the toilet was quite something else, especially when somebody used number 2. But anyway, so far so good. We are looking forward to an adventure. It took us around 2 hours to be done at the border. So as soon as we were done with the immigration, as we went to buy SIM cards, personally I had a Tanzanian SIM card because it wasn't the first time I was traveling to Tanzania. But for Joy, we got to buy a SIM card for her as well as airtime so that we would be able to communicate, whether WhatsApp or just making calls in Tanzania. The journey continued throughout the night, and we managed to catch some sleep, though the bus was a bit loud. They had put loud music, which was a bit distracting, but we managed to sleep somehow. On day 2, we woke up at 7 a.m. to enjoy some nice sunshine still in the bus after sleeping throughout the night. And our first stopover was at a place called Tengwe, where we bought breakfast and also got to relieve ourselves. The break took around 10 minutes and it was very rushed because the bus is big, it's carrying a lot of people. Tanzania is very beautiful and very green, and these people do a lot of agriculture, and I understand that they feed Kenya to a larger extent. They have so much variety like maize, beans. I also saw fruits like bananas, pineapples, mangoes, oranges, and their fruits are very yummy, especially the pineapple. That's a must eat. But for the oranges, I didn't like them. I think in Kenya we have better oranges.
We were expecting to go to Malawi to board a vehicle at 3 p.m. but apparently our buses normally leave at 3 a.m. So we're going to rest for the night here in Jerusalem, and then tomorrow at 9 p.m. we're going to be going to Malawi.
Currently we are in a Bajaj. We're going to Karioko, where we are going to be booking the bus going to Malawi. Yeah, so you can see Joy and the guy is helping us. Oh, he's Humphrey. Yes, he has received us from Kidia bus station, and he's taking us now to the next bus station to go and book buses going to Malawi. In Dar es Salaam, they have these bus stations where they have vehicles called Mwendo Kasi that have a dedicated lane where they ferry people from one location to another one, and they normally move very, very fast because they are the only ones that use the dedicated lanes. However, they're very reliable. After booking the bus going to Malawi, we went to Magufuli bus terminus where we would board the bus going to Malawi 5 a.m. in the morning. So we decided to sleep somewhere close to the bus terminus so that we wouldn't waste too much time or miss the bus. But there's a story behind the whole booking. There's something that happened.
Finally, in the room where we are staying at Magufuli bus terminal, just some few kilometers from Dar es Salaam. And let me tell you, before we got here, oh my lord, we've gone through quite a lot. Let me say a lot, because the guy who was supposed to help us book a bus from Dar es Salaam to Malawi turned out to be a wash guy. And I remember this person, we got to know him through somebody else whom was kind of speaking with Joy. So immediately when Joy saw this guy, she was like, is this a person that has been sent to help us? And she just said it just like that. But now we followed him, and we immediately told him the kind of bus that we wanted to board from Dar es Salaam to Malawi, but he had already been told that we wanted to go with Falcon. So apparently there are two bus companies called Falcon, but this guy knew which bus company exactly we wanted to board, called Falcon, but he was directing us to go with another Falcon, and he took us to a place called Karioko in Dar es Salaam, where he took us to this office. I think it was kind of like a booking office, and he was trying to book for us. And I remember immediately as we were going in, and I was looking at the signage, and when we settled, I was like, why am I not seeing the name Falcon, you know, in this booking office? Even if he's an agent, I was like, he must be having like posters showing that he's working with Falcon, he's working with this other bus company as an agent. So, and I kept wondering, because even on the wall there was this display of the locations, the many routes that the bus was kind of going, but among the routes there was no route saying that the bus was going to Lilongwe, Malawi. So I was like, how come I'm not seeing anything that shows Lilongwe, Malawi? And when we kept asking him, he kept, you know, he was very confident, and he kept assuring us he's booked for us a bus. He told us that the bus normally leaves at 3, and that bus that normally leaves at 3 a.m. was full, and now he had found another bus. And actually he called somebody when we were there trying to source for seats for both of us. Then after some time he told us that he's gotten 2 seats for us, but now the bus was leaving at 5 a.m. And I remember something wasn't settling with me, and he told us the amount that he was charging us, and Joy had a different figure. She had something different, and it's when I decided to Google the website of Falcon Bus, the one that we wanted to go with. So when I Googled, I saw they only have like 2 offices, and when I called the person, it was a lady, and she told me that she told me where they're normally at, how much they charge, at what time the bus leaves, and I was like, this is very different information from what this other guy is telling me. So I told this guy, I have a contact person from Falcon, and the information that she's giving me is different from what you're giving me. So this guy quickly decided to take us now to another office, to Sijui, the head office of this Falcon bus that he was trying to book for us. And sure, he took us there, but can you imagine, along the way he called the person and told the person, you know what, I have these 2 ladies, now in Swahili, there are these 2 ladies, they have said they don't have this much to pay from Dar es Salaam to Malawi, but as I bring them there, I want you to quote this much. So I think he was saying that he was quoting, I think, 10,000 higher so that he can get his cut. But I don't know why he didn't think that we could understand what he was saying, and I could hear what he was saying, and I could understand what he was trying to tell the other person. And true to it, what he told the other person is what it's how the other person acted when we got there. He told us, yes, there's a bus, there's 2 seats for you guys, they're charging this much, and I was like, something isn't right. And at that point we just told him, you know what, we have decided we're not gonna go, we are gonna postpone our journey, and we're gonna go another day because we don't have the 10,000 to add. But in our hearts we knew it's because he was calling us, but we didn't want him to know that outright. We know that he's calling us, he's a wash guy. So we went straight to now the actual Falcon office that we were meant to go from the word go, and it was such a long distance from where this guy had taken us in Karioko. So we went to this office, we met such an amazing lady who helped us out. So she told us the bus schedules and the amount, and apparently the buses normally leave twice a week. So unfortunately we were not able to go with the bus because they left today on Friday early in the morning. So they normally go on Friday and on Sunday, so they already left today early in the morning. But she connected us to another bus which has services almost similar to Falcon. So right now I'm in the hotel where we'll be lodging at as we expect to travel, God willing, tomorrow early in the morning at 5 a.m. to go to Lilongwe. And you know what, going to Lilongwe is 24 hours. But we are strong in Christ Jesus. We want to sleep, we want to rest, we want to just make sure that we catch that bus at 5 a.m. for 24 hours on the road going to Lilongwe, Malawi. Today we spent 16 hours on the road from Kenya to Dar es Salaam, and actually we were expecting to board another bus today at 3 p.m. to continue with the journey. But let me tell you, we were so tired. So even by the fact that we didn't continue the journey today, I was like, you know what, we're gonna flow with God's plan. We're just gonna flow with God's plan, because this is all about traveling with Jesus, letting Jesus be the lead and not us leading ourselves, because we can already feel his presence. Even the way he has exposed the enemy through that wash guy, he has exposed him and his plans and everything. Because I was just kind of thinking, what if he booked for us? Where would he have taken us? Because maybe that's how people end up being sold to other countries. You go and be a slave somewhere else. But you know what, that should not scare you. As long as you have Jesus, he's the light, he's the way, the truth, and the life. So we are happy, we are excited that God has conquered for us, and the journey continues to Lilongwe, Malawi.
So we are going to Malawi. We are at Magufuli bus terminus. We are looking forward to have an amazing time. It's 24 hours, by the way. We've had our morning devotion, so we are ready for the journey. So now apparently the bus that we booked, which is this one behind me, the green one, it's called Kela Express, and it's not going all the way to Lilongwe, Malawi. We are going up to the border, and then we'll be changed to another bus. So because as we have prayed, we have had our morning devotion, we are like, God is gonna see us through the whole journey until we get to Malawi. We're gonna have fun, it's gonna be an adventure. So to the border is 15 hours, then from there it's about another 15 or 20 hours. So we are strong enough, the Lord is with us, so we're gonna go have fun. Woo!
One of the things that wasn't communicated to us is that Kela Express wasn't going all the way up to Lilongwe, and it would take us only up to the border, and then from the border we would get another vehicle. So as we knew we were going all the way to Lilongwe, which wasn't the case, but we decided to just relax and be flexible, and because we had prayed, we knew God would see us through, even from changing from one bus to another one. You can already tell with joy falling on my shoulder that this bus was very comfortable. And of all the buses that we traveled with from Kenya to South Africa, this was the most comfortable bus. Yet it was just a local bus, and it was comfortable because the backrest was designed in a way that it was hugging our backs so well, and we just had a good time in that bus. Things we thank God for is we wanted to sit behind the driver, and this guy who was supposed to book for us the Kela bus, we didn't communicate to him that we wanted to sit behind the driver, so he had booked for us seats that were maybe in between, or rather behind. But when we were about to board, he asked us, would you like to sit in front? And I'm like, oh yeah. And I was like, wow, how did he even know? Because we hadn't told him. So as we were like, oh, thank you, Jesus, you just had our prayers of wanting to sit in front. And because it had so much leg room, because the journey was so long, so it was so much comfortable, we were able to stretch easily.
Currently, we are in Morogoro, a brief stopover after about 3 hours. So behind me is the bus that we've been using. The journey has been good. What I can say about this journey, it's been comfortable. So far the seats have been very comfortable. So we are so grateful to God.
This side of TZ has very beautiful landscapes. For a moment I was wondering, doesn't Tanzania have mountains like on this other side? Well, I know there's Kilimanjaro and Meru, and I've done Kilimanjaro, but I was wondering, this side of Tanzania didn't have mountains. But I think I spoke too soon, because I started seeing these beautiful mountains, so many mountains, and it's still green even this side. So I'm like, this country is very rich, and they just can't go hungry at all. God's creation is very beautiful. I'm a hiker, and just seeing these beautiful mountains just made my heart so happy, and I'm so looking forward to just hike this year of 2024 because it's been a while and this is an adventure that I love. And I was thinking, wow, I'd love to do these mountains in Tanzania. It would be a very good experience.
Heading to the border of Malawi and Tanzania.
The journey has taken almost about 22 hours. We started the journey at 6:30, so we have arrived, I think, let me see, right now it's 11:30. Yes, so we're gonna be resting here in this hotel. I'm yet to find out what it's called. Yeah, but we're hoping to have a restful night. Hey, our feet are sausage because of the long journey, but we thank God for safe journey mercies. Yeah, we really thank God, and we are hoping to have an amazing day tomorrow as well. We thought that we would be leaving at around 5 a.m. and I was so worried about sleeping, but you can always adjust. But now I've just learned that the bus that we shall be taking from Buda to Lilongwe, we shall board at 8 a.m. so at least we have some time to sleep. We had two drivers, one who was very fast, another one who was very slow, but both are good. At some point we were like, when the slower one picked the vehicle to drivers, we were like, I think we prefer the other one because we felt like we would be staying longer along the road. And I happened to tell the first driver to do something about it, and he told me he would. And then when he actually took the vehicle, he took the vehicle when it was almost a bit late or at night, and he was speeding. And we were like, with my friend Joy, we were rethinking, well, maybe it's better the other one to be the slower one to be driving at night, and then the faster one to be driving during daytime. But anyway, the journey has been good. We didn't have stopovers where we could really rest. Most of the stopovers were like 10 minutes, at most 10 minutes, and they were very fast. Like we didn't have enough time to rest, so it was just relieving ourselves, buying anything you're buying, and then going back to the bus. Yeah, so that's how it was. Good morning. Here at a place called border between Tanzania and Malawi. So currently we are in the hotel or lodge where we are staying, and it was a good place. We slept well, though we slept at around, I think, 1 something or 2. Yeah, because we arrived late. We arrived here at around 11:30. Yeah, so we had to go out and look for food because we were hungry, and then freshening up. So by the time we were sleeping, it was around 1. Yeah, so the place has been okay. We've slept well. It's been silent because I think for me, I really desire a place that is a bit peaceful, especially when you're just going to rest because of the long journey and everything. So it's been good. It's been peaceful. We've slept well, but this place is hot. This place is really hot. But at least we had the AC. We had to have it running the whole night. Yeah, so let me show you around. Let me start from outside. So that's the main gate, and this is the compound. This is how the lodge looks like. It's pretty a good lodge. I would say one of the best around this area. We had been taken to another lodge, then we were like, it didn't meet our standards. But this is such a good lodge. It's called Futian Lodge. So basically, this is how their corridors are. I slept room number 106. Somebody's having their breakfast. That's the bathroom.
We are headed to the border crossing here from the Lilongwe where we slept. That is Joy right behind me. We are both on borders. Arriving at the border. This is the Tanzania-Malawi border. We are from the immigration office and currently I'm on the side of Malawi. Let me just turn around to show you. So that is the road that we are gonna be using from the border now to Lilongwe, Malawi. So we experienced a miracle inside the immigration office because our contact person told us that we had to pay some amount of money, as in a bribe, so that we can be granted an entry to this side of Malawi. So my friend and I, we were uncomfortable because we are Christians and we don't like bribing. So we just told the person, I told the person we don't wanna bribe because we are Christians. And then he told us, well, then when you get inside, just go and tell them you don't have money or speak yourself out, you know. So that is what we did. And at the counter they asked us for money. There's a lady who was there and she asked us for money. Like, she asked us how much Kenya shillings do you have, how much money do you have for us? And we just kind of kept quiet. But at that time I was just praying and praying and praying silently and telling God, you know, just give us a breakthrough. And it's so interesting because God put in my heart that every day we'll be having a morning devotion with my friend, and we've been having that morning devotion and we have seen breakthrough each and every day. So finally the lady just allowed us to cross over without having to pay any amount of money, without having to bribe. So thank the Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for the breakthrough. And there's a friend of mine who, or rather,
Hi guys, so my name is Mercy. It was so interesting. Nikashuka nikaona hao watu, kwanza at first nilikuwa nasikia Kiswahili yao, it's not Tanzanian Kiswahili. They sound like me, unajua. And then I saw their passports. I'm like, ah, girl, I'm now home. So yeah. Yeah, she's called Mercy, and she's also on a solo travel. Yeah, we gotta explore when you have the time.
When you have the time and when you're young.
Yes.
Before we get kids and you can't make impromptu decisions like this. So yeah,
absolutely. So you can follow her. She also has a YouTube channel.
So you can follow my YouTube channel is Mercy Favor Kaponda, and then follow me on Instagram as well at Kenyan at Kenyan_heart like heart. So
yeah, subscribe and follow her.
All right.
Behind me is the private car that we shall be using. So apparently these are those cars that have been imported, so currently they don't have an actual number plate, and they're going to Malawi to now be given the number plates. Yes. We thought that we were gonna be using a bus from Tukuyu border to Lilongwe, but it so happened that our contact organized a private vehicle. Ordinarily, I don't board private vehicles, especially the ones that don't have a number plate, even in Kenya. But for this one, I had peace with it because we used to have morning devotions in the morning, so I was at peace with it. And also it gave us a chance to just sit comfortably and be flexible and be able to stretch well. And then also the buses normally leave early in the morning at around 5 a.m. but as we were able to leave at 10 a.m. so we had enough time to be able to just rest and sleep. And also we were able to have a journey where the driver would stop whenever we felt like relieving ourselves or having lunch or just buying anything along the road. So we were so grateful for this vehicle. Malawi is also fertile and very green, and from the border going maybe to Lilongwe, the main economic activity is fishing due to the presence of Lake Malawi. I also saw some vegetation, I think like maize and mango trees that grow naturally. We are on our way from the border to Lilongwe, Malawi. Yeah, we are in a private vehicle, and I think one of the things that we are enjoying is space, comfort.
I'm the best driver.
Yeah, and the best driver.
No, and there is a co-driver too. Yeah, boys.
Yeah, she's the co-driver here.
Yeah, that's the co-driver
here.
The state of the roads is not that good. We have parts that are smooth and others that are very rough. So there's sort of like an imbalance, and it makes the journey be a little bit longer. And I'm grateful that we went with our personal vehicle, because then it can be able to maneuver very quickly as opposed to just going with the bus. So we saw most of the roads were under construction, is when they're trying to like smoothen them and just make them more passable. Bought some very yummy mangoes from Malawi, and honestly speaking, they're very yummy, very juicy. So good. Everybody's enjoying theirs. Second one. The driver has said you eat 6, you just can't eat 1. So
Driver misled you.
for more, for more to count, and enjoys her second one.
I took 6 mangoes, put it in the bread with water. Just
With bread,
yeah, one.
so juicy.
Wow.
One.
Or two like us. I haven't eaten such mangoes. Even in Kenya, they are not this
Do
kind.
not have such.
Even in Kenya, we don't
Say it louder. We do not have.
Such mangoes.
Yeah, even the Ukambani ones, not this standard. This is classic. Malawi is rated as one of the poorest countries in the world, but as we were touring, I was wondering why. Because it's very fertile, very green, and upon interacting with some of the Kenyans that we met there, I understand that it's a mindset, because they have all that it takes to be able to feed themselves and even be able to export produce from their country, because they have very good weather and very fertile lands. Malawi has very beautiful landscapes. I also realized that they have many mountains, very beautiful landscapes, amazing tree formations and rock formations. Oh, God's creation is so beautiful. There's a touch of heaven everywhere that you go. When you talk of beautiful rock formations, ahead is a rock called Elephant Rock. You know, in Kenya we have Elephant Hill. In Malawi, they have Elephant Rock. And honestly speaking, it looks like Jumbo the elephant. So beautiful. Ooh. Good morning. Finally, we arrived safely in Malawi. Thank you, Jesus. So we are from the lodge where we slept last night behind us, and right now we are going to source for some SIM cards so that we can start doing life in Malawi. Yes. How do you feel, Joy?
Oh, fantastic. Well rested. Happy New Year. Oh, we'll do it well. Officially in a few though. But let's first get the lines.
I know. You're looking forward to have fun, right?
Yeah. Goodness. Finally.
I love this girl. Like, she's adventurous. I love her spirit. I have really loved to travel with her. This is the first time that we are traveling long distance with her. So thank God for such kind of friends.
Please.
We are now going to a different lodge because the one that we slept in, we didn't like it. So we are going to a different location. Over here it has really rained. As you can see, the road is very muddy, and actually it's just stopped raining right now. It's drizzling a bit. Yeah, we are going to hop on a taxi, or sort of like a matatu, going to town, and then we'll be going to area 3. Yeah, where we'll be sleeping. We are hoping that the lodge that we are going to, that at least we'll have our hearts smiling as we have fun in Malawi. Yes, so far so good. We managed to register our lines, thank God, but I blame a certain lady here. She could have easily been able to register our lines by herself, but can continue with the story.
I didn't think that was the part where I didn't think that I could use my Airtel line, my Airtel app to register. But I actually found out that I could have registered our line seamlessly using this my Airtel app. Yeah.
Thank God you're my friend. Otherwise, that would have been a grudge. We wouldn't have used the money that we used to register a line. If only she did it for us. I'll show you how this lodge looks like. That's the main gate, and then like a outdoor sitting area. The back door entrance. This is how the sitting room looks like. It's a very beautiful lodge. Outdoor sitting area, and then this is where we slept. Let me show you the room. So that's it. This is where we slept. Yeah, we had an amazing time. This is the bathroom. It's a good morning. We are still at the new lodge called Manolo Lodge, and it's really good. Yesterday we had such an amazing time. We met with some two Kenyans who we bonded. We shared a lot. We just basically had a very good time. So today we are going now to start sightseeing in Malawi. I understand there are not so many things to see, but I believe there's beauty everywhere that we get to go. So for me, today we're gonna go see the Old Town Mall and the World War I Memorial. Then we shall also see what we can be able to do later. Yeah, so looking forward to have such an amazing time. Currently the weather is very cool. Yesterday it rained, and actually even right now it looks like it could be raining like later. So it's cool, the weather is good, and yeah, at least it's not too sunny or too hot. Yeah, there's just so much about this place. Like for example, I'm being told that mini buses, they're usually up to 8 p.m. So past 8 p.m. there are no there's no public transport past 8 p.m. so we just have to make sure how we plan our day. We ensure that we are back to this lodge by 8 p.m. The supermarkets and the shops, they close at 5 p.m. Can you imagine? It's not a 24-hour economy. So yeah, we just need to plan our day in between 8 and 8, yeah, to ensure that we are not like struggling. Yeah. Currently we are in a place called Game in Lilongwe. So it's a place where there are so many malls, banks. There's also Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM, now our KPLC in Kenya. Let me just show you around as I turn. It's a very big area called Game, equivalent to where like we have shopping malls in Kenya, like Galleria and the sorts. At the Old Town Mall, you get to experience cultural dances at a place called Chambo Market. So this time around, we had gone to just experience their cultural dances, but apparently we were told they don't usually take place all the time, and they are seasonal, and also they are upon invitation. Chambo Market was named after Chambo fish, that is unique fish that is only found in Lake Malawi and only in Malawi in the whole wide world. So there's no any other Chambo anywhere else in the world. So this Chambo Market, they're trying to say they are a unique shop where they showcase various portraits, and they have a number of books that explain the culture and the heritage of Malawi. Such a good place to visit, especially for the book lovers, those who like to learn about the history of various countries. This is the place to be. The World War Monument is a tall tower that is in the heart of the city of Lilongwe. It serves to commemorate the life of soldiers who participated in the World War and died in the line of duty. Their names are etched on the monument. So once you climb the monument, you're able to see the whole of Lilongwe town. You first of all climb about 43 stairs, and then you climb a ladder, I think around 3 times, and then you're able to see the whole city of Lilongwe. We're going to be climbing the monument so that up at the top we can be able to see the whole of Lilongwe town.
And there are also other symbols symbolizing ancestral ceremony. So these people are displaced by the Chewa. When the Chewa came,
behind me are the stairs that we shall be climbing up to the top. You're climbing them stairs, going up. Part 1 of climbing, we're going to part 2 of climbing. There's joy going up. We were asked if we are fit. Now we understand why.
you should do in Malawi.
And she has made it.
I made it. We are on top of the monument. There is joy. We conquered. We have hiked. We said that we were gonna hike. This is part of hiking or rock climbing. Woohoo! There's fresh air. Let me show you around. Yeah, that's the road that came with. Joy, how are you feeling?
Yeah?
Exercise, that's enough hiking.
This is Lilongwe. Lilongwe town. It's very big. It has areas 1 up to 50. We found Lilongwe town to be calm and peaceful and just zero noise. No hooting of vehicles, no loud music. It's just a peaceful place to just exist and have peace of mind. Kamuzubanda statue. The 4 pillars that he used to govern. Unity, loyalty, obedience, and discipline. That is Kamuzubanda Statute in Malawi. This is where the first president of Malawi was buried, Kamuzubanda. The actual room where he was buried is underneath, but what you see on top is a replica of his grave that is below. And one of the interesting things I learned about Kamuzubanda is that he was a man of peace. As you can see, the 4 pillars that he used to govern are unity, loyalty, obedience, and discipline. One of the things I realized about Malawians, they're very peaceful people, and leadership has an impact on people. The way you lead people, that is what you leave them with. And he was a man of peace. And another thing is that he was a medical doctor, and he was the doctor to the Queen in England. And I understand that is why Malawi still has good relations with the UK up to this date. Did you also know that Kamuzubanda never married at all? He never married. So for me, I didn't know that fact about him. But I just love how he's a man of peace. And one of the takeaways for me when I visited Malawi was the impact that leadership has on people. Your style of leadership really matters and has generational impact. And I think that's why Malawi has peace up to this date, because Kamuzubanda was a man of peace.
We are along Kenyatta Highway. It's under construction, but we are going to see the nature sanctuary, which is right ahead of us. So we walked quite a long distance, but we are ready. We are fit. Yes. Yeah. It's also part of exercising as we get to know the town and get to walk around, just to get to be in touch with the heart of the city.
Lilongwe Wildlife Center is an animal sanctuary that is home to a number of animals that are injured, abused, and orphaned. At the moment, the orphanage is not open to the public. However, inside you can also visit the art gallery, which has African stuff. I'd say I've seen quite a number of stuff in Kenya similar to what they have. However, they have some few things here and there that are unique to Malawi. Something else you can do here is that you can take a walk. There's a 6-kilometer trail along River Lingadze, which is a very peaceful place. It's a forest, so you can just enjoy the flora and fauna in this place. The things that I learned is that the national animal for Malawi is Thompson's gazelle, which they also call Tommy.
see, and it's so beautiful. I would want all of you to come with me and see the place. To begin with, this place, there's right of admission reserved, so you have to reserve in advance. This is the beautiful entrance over here. Welcome to the dining area, which is here. This place is very good for fine dining. Yes. It's very good setup. It's very quiet, peaceful. Kind of English. So now we're going to the exterior parts, which is a nice sitting lounge outside. Have a look. And we'll show you outside. It's a little bit dark because it's kind of at night, but hopefully you're gonna see. So these are long grass, a lot of sitting area where you can just come here and relax with your people, with your friends, with your family. And it's just so beautiful. There's so many trees. There's a swimming pool. It's very, very pretty. Come, I show you the rest of it. There are some other sitting lounges over there. Let me show you the swimming pool. It's a very huge swimming pool here that is usually well maintained. And this place is kind of a bit private, so if you're the kind of person who likes privacy, this is the place to be. This is a place where you must come if you are in Lilongwe, Malawi. You have to just come to this place and see what I am talking about. You will not be disappointed. Zero disappointments. Zero regrets.
When it comes to the time zone of Malawi, it's 1 hour behind Kenya, and you'd find at around 5 a.m. it would be such broad daylight, which here in Kenya we would experience at around 6:30 thereabout or 6. Our last day in Lilongwe, Malawi. So today we are going to see Lake Malawi. It's at a place called Salaam. So we are looking forward to have an amazing time in Sightseeing and hoping that it's gonna continue being sunny and
that it will not rain. So I understand that Lake Malawi has one of the most unique fish. The famous fish here in Malawi is called chambo. We haven't eaten chambo yet, but we are hoping to eat the delicious fish. So there's so many species of fish that are unique to Malawi in the whole world. Can you imagine? I believe every place has its own uniqueness and beauty. We are in a minibus headed to Salaam, and then from Salaam Airport we'll go to the beach where we get to see Lake Malawi.
Finally, we have arrived at Livingstone Bay beach, and behind me is Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi.
Just to give a brief analysis about the whole journey from Kenya to Malawi. From Kenya to Dar, we use Kidia 1. Like I said, I've used Kidia 1 before. The first time I used it, I think I had a better experience. This time when we used it, like I said, we didn't have such a very good experience because for one, we couldn't use the washroom because one person used number 2, and then apparently that's not supposed to happen. The toilet is only meant for number 1, which had not been communicated. So you can imagine the whole journey of 16 hours, we couldn't use the washroom, and we only had, I think, like two stopovers, which were not enough for 16 hours. That also means we couldn't hydrate because how would you hydrate, and you know, there were not many stopovers. The other thing, they didn't communicate to us like where we would actually have the stopovers, like after how long, so that let's say in case you were to hydrate, you're able to plan, you know, how you're gonna hydrate. Then the other thing, because we were traveling at night, during the night they put loud music, and we tried to ask them to like reduce the volume, and they didn't do that. So for us, we were not impressed with that because nighttime is for relaxing and just sleeping, for anybody who wants to sleep. And then this time they didn't give us water, and we thought maybe it's because the washroom was not operational, so they were trying to just tone down our hydration. Because I think the following day, when we were still in the bus, they gave us water, and they also gave us breakfast. Breakfast is something I like the way they give people breakfast. So they give you either tea, coffee, whatever it is that you want, black or white, and then they give you biscuits. That was something good that I love about them. And then at the stopovers, we would there was plenty of food. Tanzania has plenty of food. You find these roasted chickens in the stopover, so they just have plenty. They have variety of food, so you can never go hungry in Tanzania. That is something I guarantee you. Even in terms of fruits, ooh, they have very nice fruits. And I think my favorite so far was the pineapple. Ooh, it was so tasty. It's actually more tasty than the Kenyan one. But for the oranges, like I said, they're a bit okay, not bitter really, but they're not watery like the ones that we have in Kenya. So for oranges, we have better oranges, we have bananas, pineapples, mangoes. Yeah, so in terms of food, TZ I think was kind of my favorite for the whole journey from Kenya to South Africa. TZ was my favorite country in terms of food. They have variety, it is tasty, it's yummy. Oh yeah. Also, the stopovers were very rushed. Like, I remember the last time I used Kidia 1, we did a stopover of around 30 minutes or so, but this time the stopover was just about 10 minutes, and I mean, it was so rushed. We didn't even have enough time to go to the washroom, to buy stuff, to just breathe, because in the bus you're just seated throughout. So I think for me this time I didn't enjoy that. Nevertheless, Kidia 1 is a good bus. It's really, I think, one of the best buses to use from Kenya to Dar es Salaam. Maybe it's just that day that they had that hiccup. Then another thing, by the I've remembered, the toilet door wasn't closing well, and I asked them, you know, to do something about that. And I expected, you know, that's something that they're really supposed to like look into, because it's a long journey. So how would you have that one toilet not closing? Because when I say that the toilet door wasn't closing, it's like when you're inside you can see people who are seated, you know, looking at you. So it was not like very functional. When we asked them, they say that the previous night when they were traveling, somebody had like mismanaged or mishandled the door. So that is why then I was like, but you should do checkups, because you do these journeys, you know, every day. So this is something that should be looked into like promptly. So we made sure that we communicated that to them. Dar es Salaam is usually very hot because it's close to the ocean, so it's usually very hot. And I remember it's not my first time to be in Dar es Salaam, but the last time I was there, I remember I used a motorbike, and it was at night, and I was just wearing a sleeveless, and I wasn't feeling cold. So the place is so hot, but it's a beautiful city, and I like Dar es Salaam. From Dar es Salaam to the border called Songwe border, we used Kiela Express. Kiela Express, like I said initially, we thought it would be going all the way to Lilongwe, but it was just taking us to the border. And I can say, like I said, Kiela Express was the best bus. Like, it was so comfortable, you know, for a long journey. It was so comfortable. That's one thing we loved about it. However, when it came to like the stopovers, they were rushed. I don't know whether it's a thing with all the buses. They were rushed. They were so rushed, and we couldn't have like a lot of time just to, not even a lot of time, just some time to relax and rest and stretch the legs. Upon alighting, you just needed to go to the washroom as quickly as possible, and also go and buy whatever it is that you're buying. And mind you, these stopovers, I think they're common stopovers, so you'd find many buses already there, and there people are just, you know, going to the washroom buying stuff. So you so many people in that particular center trying to rush and buy things and go to the washroom. Yeah. And similar to what we experienced from Kenya to Dar es Salaam, since we were still in Tanzania, we went to Morogoro, Iringa. We had a stopover in Morogoro and Iringa, and in both places food was plenty. The one thing that I loved is the roasted chicken. I couldn't resist it. It was so yummy. And also the bananas. I really love bananas because I am Anna Banana, so I love their bananas. Even their like the roasted bananas, they were really good. There was just food options were plenty. Tanzania is really rich in terms of food. The Kiela Express, I could say it was really a good bus, because we saw them follow the procedure that's supposed to be followed for all the public transport. Because we learned that there were some buses that were not following the regulations of the public transport. And one thing in TZ we noticed is that, especially going from that road going from Dar es Salaam to the border, they normally have a number of stopovers, a lot of stopovers, where at the weigh bridge where the buses are weighed. You know, in Kenya we are used to only the trucks being weighed, but in Tanzania, not just the trucks, but even the buses are usually weighed. So at every weighing bridge, the bus has to stop over. So that is something that was a bit off. We have never experienced that, so we could, you know, see our weight as we were going. But just going, the journey was so good. Tanzania is so beautiful, like it's so mountainous, especially going to the border. It's very mountainous, very beautiful. I mean, we just loved every bit of the journey. Let's talk about Malawi. Malawi is a beautiful country, and especially from the border going up to Lilongwe, oh, it's so mountainous, has so many trees, as in the landscapes are heavenly. I love that bit of Malawi because I'm a hiker. I love to hike, so just seeing these beautiful mountains, rock formations, these beautiful landscapes, oh my god, for me they were breathtaking. And even Joy was like, it's very beautiful. So the Malawian people are also very kind, and they're very polite and calm people. I think the key word is that they're calm people. They are not loud in nature, so, and they're very welcoming, very friendly, and that is one thing I really liked about them, you know. And their country is very peaceful. Like there's not much noise, like I had said earlier, you know, noise from music in matatus, maybe somebody playing music in their house or wherever. I mean, there's just no noise. Even in the way they call out people to just board the vehicles, they do it in a very calm tone. The people of Malawi speak the Chichewa language, which is very, I loved it. Lilongwe is the capital city of Malawi, and it's mostly like a cultural city where if you want to learn about the history, the culture of Malawian people, Lilongwe is the place to be. We didn't manage to go to Blantyre, which is like the commercial hub of Malawi, but that is a trip for another time. We are actually planning to go there because we want to explore the whole of Malawi. So Lilongwe has areas 1 up to 50. It is very, very big. So like when you're going, you have to know which area are you going, because there are 1 up to 50. Those are so many areas. And I remember like when we arrived in Lilongwe, as we went to area, we wanted to go to area 9, but now our driver wouldn't have been able to take us to area 9 because we arrived at night. So we ended up in area 36, of which we kinda didn't like, okay, where we were sleeping. So we ended up changing that to area 46, where we stayed at Manolo Lodge. So when it comes to transportation, they mostly use, they call them taxi, but in Kenya we call them matatu. So they have those taxis, and I love the fact that they don't overcharge, you know, they don't overcharge people. But again, you have to be very aware of the amount you're supposed to pay from one point to another one. So it's good to do your research even before you board the taxis, so that just in case there's somebody who just wants to, you know, make a killing out of you being a foreigner, it's good to just know how much they charge from which place to which place. And then another thing I loved about Malawi in general is that this good security. You see the way there are pickpockets here and there in Kenya. Their security is really good, both daytime and at night. The security is really good. So as a foreigner, both for foreigners and locals, the security is really good. So in case there's anybody who would be wondering how is the security situation for Lilongwe, Malawi, or even Blantyre, the whole of Malawi, it's really good. Talk of nightlife. Woof. Malawians don't have a nightlife, or rather, because I was being told, and I said earlier, that the matatus or the taxis, they close work at 8 p.m. Imagine 8 p.m. They don't have a 24-hour economy. If the supermarkets, they close at around 5 p.m. I mean, they don't have that kind of a nightlife that, you know, like we have here in Kenya. And my version of a nightlife is like somewhere where you can go to a restaurant and just chill, or go for a cultural night, you know. such kind of things, or even take a walk around town. There you can't enjoy such unless you are driving. So if you're driving, there's some places you can go, some like Kumbali Lodge. We went to Kumbali Lodge. We drove there with people that we met there, so it was a really good place. So that's the only way maybe you can have a nightlife if you're driving. But however, even if you're driving, if these places close early, then you won't be able like to access these places, because like I said, they close early. So nightlife, you just have to go home early. And I remember even when we were staying in Manolo Lodge, they were saying that we needed to be back by 11 p.m. I'm like, geez, how does a lodge put a curfew on people? I mean, this is not high school or primary school, you know. So we're like, so what happens if we come back past 11 p.m.? What will happen? So we were asking them, and then they were like, I think they were lost for words, because for them that's not an issue. I think people just go home early. In terms of currency, they use kwacha, Malawian kwacha. And the good thing, when you're a Kenyan and you're going to Malawi, Kenyan money is stronger than kwacha. And I remember the rate, 1 shilling to kwacha was around 1 Kenya shillings, 10 kwacha. So it was a good rate in terms of the currency. So even when it comes to like changing of money, what I would advise is change at the border, especially if you're doing a road trip. Change at the border, because when you get to the country, it's very hard to find places to change, or you even to find a good rate for changing the currency. So it's always preferable to change at the border. And then the other thing, get a SIM card at the border. Get a SIM card at the border and ensure that it is registered, because there are people who've been selling SIM cards but they're not registered. So now you have to go through the hassle of trying to register the SIM cards. And if you ask them whether it's registered, there's a possibility they tell you yes, it's registered, even when it's not registered. So you always have to take caution and ensure you in your mind you know how a SIM card should be registered. So if you don't see that process being followed, then you know the SIM card has not been registered. So buy a SIM card at the border, buy airtime at the border, so that even as you get to where you're going, if you need to call somebody, if you need to buy something, you have the cash and you have, you know, the means of calling, and even also to stay connected as you are traveling with your family and your friends. When it comes to food, oh my lord, Malawi and food, we really struggled, because they mostly cook ugali or sima or pap, however you like to call it. That's the only thing that the main thing that they cook there, and they do it with mostly meat. In Malawi there are no cereals. Personally, we didn't see cereals. There are no cereals, so you have to do meat all the time, and it's a bit tiring, especially if you just like to live a healthy lifestyle. And then when it comes to things like tea, you know, Kenyans, we are tea people. They don't know about tea, especially the one that white tea. They mostly do black tea. So when it comes to white tea, even the way they prepare for you is a bit different from how it's done here in Kenya. Like, they don't mix the tea and the water and the tea leaves for you. So what they do is they give you milk separately when it's hot, and water separately, or black tea separately when it's hot. So you mix for yourself, and then you have tea. But there's something about tea that has boiled, you know, as in when all the contents have boiled together. There's just something about that kind of tea. And then they are not flexible to incorporate new ideas or to be adventurous when it comes to food. So they only do ugali and rice. Those are the main things, and maybe fries. Those are the main things that we ate in Malawi. And then there's this fish they call chambo. We really wanted to try the fish, but when we saw how the fish is stored, we were like, hey, we might just not be able to eat it, because there's a way it was being stored that even it turns black, it's smelling. So we were like, maybe we should try some other time when we go to Blantyre. Because one thing I understand about Malawi, they were going through power shortage, so you find even in terms of refrigeration it's an issue. They don't refrigerate stuff a lot. So how they preserve the fish is what made us not to be able to eat the chambo fish. But should we find a place where they have good ways of preserving it, maybe then we will be able to consume it, because I mean this is a unique fish, unique to Malawi, so we would like to have a taste of Malawian fish, chambo.
Hi, it's a good morning. Today we are going from Malawi to South Africa, and we are using a bus by the name Matuas, which is right behind me. It's a beautiful bus. I know I'm not so visible right now because it's dark. It's 3:30 a.m. Yeah, so it's a 24 hours journey. It's a continuous journey, and we are looking forward to be strengthened by the Lord, to arrive safely and to enjoy the journey. Yeah, let me show you how the bus looks like. It has a carrier behind it that is gonna be pulling. Yeah.